in this crazy life. Hey, this life, this life, this life.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Barba223. We are back with yet again another video. Today we're going to be doing, drum roll please, a magdk. Okay. Now, I just did a magdk video like a week ago, I think, but that was a proc build. It didn't have procs in the build, but it had Eternal Vigor, so it couldn't be used in Cyrodiil. And some of you guys are asking me for more magdk content. So what we're gonna do today is my magdk build for the NO-PROC Cyrodiil. And to be honest, this build is actually really sick. I really enjoy it so far. Like, this is it's a different take on DK for me. It's something that I've never done before. It's really enjoyable. Trust me, you're gonna hit, dude. I'm hitting like 10k lava whips, like sick, dude. 10k molten whips. It's just shredding people. I like to test my builds in BGs just so I know it's gonna be good. That way, like, because if you can perform in a BG with no procs against procs, you're gonna be good as hell in Cyrodiil. And that's kind of how I like to gauge it. So that's what I did. So you'll see gameplay at the end. And guys, a little spoiler: we got queued with Fengrush, as most of you guys probably know who that is. One of the biggest ESO streamers. Yeah, Fengrush. We got queued with him in a BG. We were on his team, and we just destroyed the other team. It was actually really fun. So make sure you stay to watch that. Pretty cool. And he's like the person that inspired me to make content. So like, it's pretty cool to see. It was a really cool experience for me. He's one of my ESO idols. So, anyways, before we get into the video, I just want to make sure that you guys, I emphasize that you like, comment, subscribe. It's really important. It really helps the channel, and I really appreciate it. So, honestly, guys, let's just get into it. And this is my NO-PROC magdk Dragonite build. So let's do it. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna give you the gear and all that. I'm gonna give you everything, but there's a couple things you can change if you want to, because I have a couple of flex spots and I've tested a few different things that all work. But this is my personal final result, so you can alter it the way you want. But I'm gonna give you the choices here, what I think will work. So let's do it. So first we're gonna start with the character screen. It's, buffed up, whatever. So we're sitting at 37k magic, almost 26k health, over 20k stam, which is really sweet. As you can see, we have 1800 magic recovery, 1500 health recovery. That goes up to, on the back bar, almost 2k, so about 1000 healing a second when you're buffed, which is that's really sick. 1800, and 1000, it's really good. Also, on top of that, that stam recovery at some points goes up to almost 1400, so you can have 18, and 14 as your recoveries, which is awesome. I will show you why in a second, but let's keep going. Spell damage 3400, but when you're fully buffed, it goes up to like 5k. The penetration is 7500, but we're going to get an extra about 4k from a passive, so that's going to really help us out, and especially because we're wearing 5 heavy, so having that much penetration in 5 heavy is really sweet. It feels nice, and resistances go up to about 26k and 21k, and that's enough. 20k is kind of my point where I'm like, okay, like that's enough. Like you can survive with 20k plus. So let's keep it going here. 27% crit too, and we're a dark elf. It's the best in my opinion for DK. It gives stamina, it gives damage, it gives flame resistance. It just fits into DK so well. And we're running Bewitched Sugar Skulls because it's the best, especially on a DK. It scales higher because of coag, so it helps us get that higher health recovery, like that 2k health recovery. Without this, we wouldn't have nearly that much. So make sure you use Bewitched Sugar Skulls. It's the best. I tried Witch Mothers, no good. It just doesn't compare. You need the stamina. So yeah, and we're using the Atronach to get that high 1800 recovery. There's a couple things you could change if you want to, but I'll tell you, you could go max magic if you want to, but I really like having the recovery. So yeah, now we're just gonna get into the gear. The gear is nothing crazy, and the reason I say nothing crazy is because there's just not that many choices. Now on a DK, there's really a couple ones that are better than others, and it's that simple. That's the one we're using. So on the front bar, I've been messing with the enchantment, so I don't have one on, but like I literally just had one on like earlier today, but I've been messing with what I've been using. So what I would suggest using here, and that's why I don't have it on right now because I'm still deciding. So I would say I would use a disease glyph if you can. I would say that's probably the best. Next best in slot for me is either shock or poison, and the reason for that is poison is going to help you with sustain a bit, and shock is going to help you with damage, and disease is going to help you mitigate healing. Now, disease is nice because 10%, I believe it applies 10% to file, so which reduces the enemy's healing. That's going to be big in this update because 10% is a lot more than you think it is now because healing is so powerful. So it's going to be a lot more powerful, and it's going to scale higher. So I think disease is the way to go right now. That's just my opinion. Poison's good too because it's going to give you 500 stamina back every time you apply it. So that's nice, but again, that's preference. I like disease, so whatever you want to choose is up to you. Whatever works best. So just test it out. Whatever you think. We're going to use sharpened on it because penetration is key. Penetration is the way to go. It's that simple. It's so good. You need it. So Shackle Breaker, 5-piece of Shackle Breaker. It's just meta. Great set. Shout out to Zenish for crafting this for me. But great set. Stam recovery, magic recovery, weapon and spell damage, and then you get 2k of stam and magic. Great set. Incredible set. Well, probably the best in slot for magdk, even stam DK, anything. It's really good. It fits on every build. It's awesome. Having the stamina, it scales with Dark Elf well. So yeah, you could also run poisons here, guys. That's another thing. I might even try it myself, having poisons on the bar. So just remember that. Not too bad. They're pretty good. I mean, obviously it's poison. They hit hard as hell. So yeah, and I have a lot of them. So we're using the back bar. We're using obviously a Shackle Breaker Resto. Powered is what I've been using because you get crazy tooltips with powered. Like 12k, I'm not even buffed up without a crit. If I can get a crit ever, whatever. But anyways, yeah, 9% healing is sick. So if you light attack something, you're gonna get the 350 spell damage for your glyph. So that's even more spell damage. So that'll make your heal better if you want to pop. Like you use bang. So ready? Like you switch your back bar, you need a heal. Bang, light attack into a heal. You get that extra spell damage and the 9% healing into the healing. So it scales really well. You could use defending. You could use decisive. You could use infused to get even better heals too. It's up to you. But I like powered. I like the bigger heal. So yeah. So this is where I also can give you guys a couple options. Now, as you can see, we're running 1 heavy, 2 heavy, 3 heavy, and then we're running 4 or 5 heavy, I believe. So this is where I can give you a few options. For one, the biggest thing I want to tell you guys is if you can get tri-stat glyphs on the big pieces, which would be head, chest, and legs. Those are the big pieces. Get tri-stat glyphs on them. They're very expensive. I can afford it. I just don't feel like it right now. I've been testing. It doesn't make a huge difference. I mean, you're gonna get 1,500 extra health and stam. You lose a little bit of magic. It's a pretty good trade-off. I would suggest doing it if you can. But right now we're running Balorg. Now, I've been seeing most builds run Domi Hoss and Stonekeeper or something like that to just give the biggest max stat. Now, I really like the spell damage right now, and I'm using a health one. Now, it's not ideal, right? It's not perfect. If you use tri-stat glyphs, so if you use 3 tri-stat glyphs, you could drop this one and then run a magic one, a stam one. Like, this is where preference comes in. It's not gonna. These 2 pieces aren't gonna make the biggest difference. I just feel more comfortable getting the extra health. It really is just what makes me feel comfortable, which is why I run Malabeth here. You can run any health set. You can run anything. You can run literally whatever you want here. It's totally up to you. But that's just how I feel comfortable. And Balorg is nice because you get the extra damage, so it heals. It helps your heals. It helps your damage. All that. And it has crit resist on it, so I've been using these 2 because Impen is nice. So that's preference. I just like the health and damage. It's a little bit of a balance. So yeah, I even tinkered a little bit with Pirate Skeleton. That one's solid too. Now that's going to get you even more resistance, so that's a nice one to use possibly, hypothetically. It's preference, guys. It's up to you. I might even go back to using Pirate Skeleton just because it's nice. And you could even use Valken to get penetration. It's really up to you. So I just want you guys to know that whatever you want. I like this because not only does this give you damage, it gives you healing. So yeah. So on the body we're using Shackle Breaker. So you have 1 heavy, 2 heavy, 3 heavy, and then the other set we're using is Amber Plasm. So basically what you want ideally is 3. You want 3 Amber Plasm jewelry pieces, and then the rest is heavy armor. So that way you only have to have 2 Amber Plasm on the body. and you can run the rest however you want. Right now I'm using Impen and Reinforced. I like it. It reinforces sweet, man. It gives you so much extra resistance. It's really nice. It makes you feel much tankier. It makes me feel more comfortable. I was trying well fitted. I do like well fitted, but as a heavy armor build, I don't want to buy into dodge rolling that much. I'm just gonna buy into eating a little bit of damage. So that's the route I went. It's just what I liked. So Amber Plasma is gonna give magic, crit, which is nice, spell damage, and then you're gonna get 260 of every recovery, which, guys, that's sick. It's amazing. So it's really like there's nothing better right now to have sustain besides Amber Plasm, and I'm glad that I got lucky. So I have 3 jewelry. If you can get the purple one, get it. I just didn't want to grind the vet dungeon. Now, this is what I was gonna say. You have 2 options here, right? You have a couple options. So option number 1 is what I'm using. You can use 2 recovery and 1 reduced cost. Now, reduced cost helps me personally. It just makes me feel better about the spammables and all that. It just makes me feel so much more sustained. Now, you can either change this to another recovery, you can change this to a spell damage glyph. But what you could also do is, you could go Vampirism if you want to, and then, if you have Misform, as you know, Vampirism gives you extra cost, so it's about 5 or 6%, I believe. So what you could also do is transmute this into Infused, and then you can keep the reduced cost glyph on, so then you kinda offset the percentage cost bonus as a vamp. That's something to keep in mind. Misform is going to help you a little bit. I don't have Misform on the build, but I tested it and I like it. I think it works, and I personally think Misform is going to be very good in open world. Better than like what I'm using now. I've been using, I'll tell you what I'm using, but I'm using like my choices for now just because I like IC and BGs at the moment. They're just really fun. That's my type of PvP, that's just my preference. Cyrodiil's good, I like it, but like right now I like small scale, so that's what I've been playing. And reduced cost glyph is going to be nice if you use Misform because it's going to cancel it out a bit, so that's really nice. You could also just change this to a spell damage and get an extra spell damage. I'm thinking maybe go spell damage on this, and then change Balorg into Pyroskeleton. I think that's a nice valid option. It's good. So that's the jewelry options for me. I think you could do either or, just whatever you do. If you use Vampirism, I'd say go Infused on one of these and just keep the spell reduction costs, and that way you kind of cancel it out. So yeah, that's the gear. As I said again, it's 5 heavy, 2 light. You can go 5, or you can even go 4, 1, 2 if you want, just to get the extra Undaunted bonus. I might do that myself at some point, but yeah, that's the gear. So let's move on. Move into the skills. So here's the front bar. It's a bit different than my last build. I changed up a bit. I actually changed it up a lot, to be honest, and it's better. I think it hits harder. It has a lot of burst potential. So Engulfing Flames, it's a must. You got to have this on the bar. It's going to give you Major Berserk for all these skills. Well, not Shattering Rocks, but all these skills are going to get a 10% damage buff. That's just, it's unmatched. You're getting Major Berserk literally at all times. Like, it's awesome. It's an Ardent Flame ability, so it's going to help you with this. I'll explain. So yeah, great skill, must. Burning Embers, again, another must. It gives you the burning status effect, which essentially reduces the cost of this by 500 because of, as many of you probably know, applying burning restores 500 magic. So basically, you use this ability, you get 500 off. So that's really nice. And it's a great dot. It's a great heal. It's just great. And next we have Shattering Rocks. Now, Fossilize is great. Don't get me wrong, Fossilize is very good, but that's because it's better with Lava Whip because it procs it easier. So if you use Lava Whip, Fossilize is better. But I think if you use Molten Whip, Shattering Rocks is better. Now this changed this update. Last update, this skill was a complete waste of everyone's time. That's because when you would stun them and it would end, it would heal whoever the heck they hit. So they could hit Joe Schmo in the corner and it would heal them. Now, when the stun ends, they literally just heal you. Like, they don't have to do anything. Like, if you stun them with this move, they break out, bang, you're healed. So like that is such, and it's 7400 compared to, like, it's just a huge heal. So if you're in a group and let's say you're outnumbered, you could stun 3 people with this and it'll heal you for, you'll get 21k healing within a few seconds, because if you stun 3 people, bang, they're gonna all heal you. There's no cooldown on it. You can just keep spamming CC on people and it'll just keep healing you. So that's what's really nice about it. And it does 4k damage, so not too bad. And of course it can't be stunned, or the stun cannot be blocked or dodged. So pretty strong heal. I've gotten like 4k plus out of it, and it's really just, it's nice. It gives you the heal that you need, that you miss out on for not having Lava Whip. So that's why I like it. Very solid skill. I think this one's gonna make a come up. They made it, they fixed it, and yeah, it's a good skill. So next skill, Molten Whip. This is your bread and butter. So as you know, Lava Whip is typically the spammable for DK. On this build, it's going to be a little bit different. So it does 7,400. If you strike an enemy, you set them off balance. That's immobile or stunned. Now, while slotted, if you activate any Ardent Flame ability, you gain a stack of Fury, which increases your Molten Whip by 33%, and your weapon is spell damage by 70. So you get 3 stacks. So you can get up to 210 extra damage, 210 extra spell damage, and then 100% extra damage on your Molten Whip. Now, this is what I would compare, like, if you want to compare skills, if you buff this up all the way, it's similar to Subterranean Assault or that move. What's the magic for? Whatever. You know what I'm getting at. So, a Deep Fissure. There it is. Got it. So, this is similar to Deep Fissure if you buff it up all the way, because, so, as you know, Lava Whip is a spammable, usually, but really, in this build, it's not. It's kind of your burst. So, what you're going to do is, like, pretty much, we have pretty much have Flames of Oblivion almost as our spammable because it's so cheap. You could use these two as a spammable as well, but this one's only 1,800, so it's super cheap, and it hits multiple enemies and it hits kind of hard. So what you're gonna do, it's really easy. So all right, here's an enemy, right? So what you're gonna do, you buff up, use Entropy, you just hit them with a Flames of Oblivion, hit them with an Engulfing, hit them with a Burning, and then look at this, 18k, and that's not even a crit. Do this again, keep the combo up, bang, into that, 27k into a 25k. You see how much damage it stacks? It's really simple. Flames of Oblivion, Engulfing Flames, Burning Embers into a Lava Whip. Very simple combo. It will destroy people. If you use those 3 Flames of Oblivion, Engulfing Flames into a Burning Embers, and then you Shattering Rocks a guy into a whip, I'm hitting people for 10k and no CP. It's really good. So instead of don't use Molten Whip as something that you spam. Use Molten Whip as a move that is going to line up your burst. So Flames of Oblivion is a good move. Don't sleep on this. Just use this as your spammable. Not really as your spammable, but as your rotation. It's a 15-second duration, so you really only have to use it once. You just use this for the 1 stack. You use this for the 2nd stack, you use this as the 3rd stack, you CC, and you can go into Molten Whip. Now, another something that's even better about it is, this is why I use 2-hand. You might wonder, oh, Barbu, why the hell are you using 2-hand on a magic build? This is why. So, with a 2-hand, we are using a mace, by the way. You will get, I'm sorry I didn't level it up yet, but trust me, it's fine. So maces increase your penetration by 3,300. So not only that, we're getting 3,300 penetration when it's buffed up all the way, and this is the one right here too. So if you go into, now this isn't buffed all the way, but on the 2nd upgrade you get 10% extra. So when you do a fully charged heavy attack, your next damage within 7 seconds. That's a long time. It gives you 10% additional damage. So if you do this, right, you use this, use this, and you full heavy attack into that, you're gonna get 10% extra. That is crazy. So the way you got to think of it is, bang, 10k extra. So how you think of it is, what you're gonna want to do from Engulfing Flames, you're getting Engulfing Flames already gives you 10%. So you're getting Major Berserk already. But if you do a fully charged heavy attack into that Lava Whip that's fully charged, you're going to get crazy. You're going to get 20% extra damage on top of that, because the tooltip is already 15k, and I'm not even buffed. So it's like 16. So that's, and then an extra 10%, it's almost 20k. So don't sleep on that. Like, make sure you use that 2-handed. And then on top of that, something even better too, once you kill somebody, it doesn't even have to be with a 2-hand ability. You get 30% stand recovery. So that's why you get extra. You get like almost 300 extra stand recovery for just getting a kill. So you get crazy sustain out of that. So two-handed is awesome, especially a mace for that penetration. It's really good, guys. Trust me, very, very good. So Ferocious Leap is a bread and butter, you guys know. Use it as a finisher if you can. It's nasty, great skill. So in the back bar, I'm sorry, let me speed this up. I'm really going slow. I want to get into the gameplay, so I'm sorry for rushing, but or I'm sorry for taking forever. I'm not going to rush though. But Volatile Armor on the back bar, it's a must. Gives you your major resolve. Does a little bit of damage. You know how it goes. It is what it is. Next, Dragonfire Scale. This is a very good one. Now, this is your flex spot for me, personally. There's a couple things you can do here. So, if you are somebody that wants Misform or Race Against Time, which I think I'm going to try. Misform might be the first one I'm going to use. Race Against Time is very good also, but Misform's nice because then it gives you the reason to not have to use this Dragonfire Scale. So you could take this off and put Misform on and use that as your speed, your mitigation. It's nice, right? But if you do want to use this, very good skill. It doesn't matter. Now, the other option is if you are somebody that likes to use potions, if you want to go full sweat, if you use potions as your spell damage buff, you could take off Degeneration and just use Race Against Time or Misform here. That way you can have both Dragonfires and movement speed. I think I'm just going to take off this though and use one or the other. It's not like it's a good skill, but it's something that can be taken off, if you know what I mean. Now, if you're in a 1vx, this skill is a must. You might want to go this, use potions, and then use the movement here. It's up to you, but those are your two options there. Personally, I'm just using this right now because I'm in a small scale type of fight at the moment, so pretty good. Now, Rapid Regen, pretty much the Vigor for magic builds. I think it's a must. A lot of people don't. That's why I use the Resto Staff, guys. If you're wondering, I think it's a must, but you know what? That's opinion based. I just love Rapid Regen. I feel comfortable when it's on my bar, so that's why that's there. Coag is just the big boy heal. Crazy health recovery. Crazy heal. It increases by 33% if you're low health. It's just so good. Sometimes I heal for like 12k. It's awesome. So, Degeneration. A little dot, nothing crazy, but it gives you the major sorcery buff. You have to have that. And you can use this or potions. It's your opinion. I mean, I don't like to use potions that way. I like to use potions as a defensive tool. But either way, it's good. So you have to have it. I mean, you could use Molten Armaments if you really want to, but I don't think it's so expensive that it's not worth it. 2k is literally 2,000 more than Degeneration. So yeah. And then we're using Life Giver. This is another one. If you're in a group, you could use Magma Armor. You could even use DK Standard. It's not bad. I mean, it's okay. Like, it's nothing crazy. But I think the rest of all is the way to go. It's really good. I don't see anything that's much better. I mean, Meteor is on the front bar. Like, if you use support, Barrier maybe. But I think this is the best. It's a oh shit button. Like, oh my god, I'm gonna die. Pop this. You ain't gonna die. It's crazy. 11k a second. Are you crazy? It's so good. So yeah, that is pretty much everything, guys. Now, CP is. I don't even have my CP leveled up, but like I don't want to go into it literally just for that reason. I'm still studying the CP anyways. I don't know. I don't want to give you guys information that I'm not sure about, and because that's not me. I'm not trying to give fluff information. So yeah, that's pretty much everything, guys. I gave you some alternatives. I gave you your options. Let me know what you think and enjoy the gameplay. I mean, let me know what you think down below. I'm gonna be releasing other build videos soon. Another tier list is coming. I'm in the works right now of making my tiers, so stay tuned to that. And if you have any suggestions, anything that you guys think that would work better on the build, let me know. Have a good one, guys, and enjoy the gameplay. Enjoy all of it. Let me know what you think. So, thanks, guys.